The Bambu Lab P2S is already one of my favorite printers, and I recently installed the exhaust upgrade, which made it better. But if you're printing ABS, ASA, PETG, or even just running this thing in a garage or office, fumes and odors are something worth talking about. So today I'm installing the VentoBox, which is an air filtration system for the Bambu Lab P2S that resides inside the printer. Will this make a difference? I don't know, but let's find out. Voxel is sponsoring today's video, and they did send this over here so I could check it out, install it, and show you guys just how cool this could possibly be. I do have a simple air quality monitor that I purchased off Amazon, but there's no telling how accurate this thing is. So we're gonna try this and see if we can see if there's a difference, but just so you know, I'm not My Tech Fund or something like that. Let's get going. Now inside the packaging, we have a big instruction letter right here. So I don't think you're gonna miss this when you first open it. I did already open this so I could just see what was inside. It does note that this is made with their in-house PETG plus filament, which is kind of cool. We've got a little bit of hardware, some screws, our QR code for the installation, and we've got our VentoBox and another piece. Now this little box here holds our HEPA 13 filter and our activated carbon. The activated carbon is going to be great for getting rid of those fumes and those VOCs, where this is gonna help pick up those fine particles. I do love how they have this designed here. It's really nicely done. So this kind of just clips into the back, arrow to arrow, and it closes super easy. Installation of everything is pretty simple. All we're gonna have to do here to start is we take this little baggie, which has our screw and our little handle for our vent control. And we screw this into right here. Now you wanna make sure it's snug, but not overly tight, because it is still printed stuff. You could potentially break it. So now with our flap here, we can have it open for when we're printing things like ASA, ABS, or nylon. That'll help recirculate the air through the system. Whereas if we wanted to do PLA or PETG and do a single pass, we can just do that. And with that, it opens up the vent on the bottom so it can exhaust out the bottom. Voxel is using a high flow 7530 fan inside here, which is going to help push some serious air and help recirculate it through the chamber. Whether or not that's good or not, I honestly don't know, but we'll find out. Before we get going, I probably should clean all this up. I don't know about you, but I always just have a mess down here. And first thing first, what we're gonna wanna do is home the system to get the bed nice and out of the way. Now this should bring the bed all the way to the top, so that way it gives us plenty of room to work over here. And now inside here, we have a spot where it can live. So we just pop up this. Now we can see that the VentoBox will sit right here and it'll vent straight through the bottom of the printer. The 4-pin connector is really cool. It's the only thing you need to plug into the printer itself, and you just slip it through the little back slot here, and it's going to be visible on the back side where you can find it and plug it into the motherboard. You do want to remove the backing on the VHP tape so you can attach it to the printer. Make sure you do line it up on the bottom first before you actually kind of stick that VHP onto the printer side. Now there is a screw right there that you are going to need to screw in. It's easiest to take off the top, remove the AMS, and to get at it from the top, because trying to get it from the inside of the door is just impossible. You do need to remove this back panel. It is fairly easy, it's not that hard. You will need to remove your filament buffer, your spool holder, and anything else that you may have on the back, like my AMS cable holder here. I did a video that included this with some upgrades for the P2S. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link down in the description below. There is a piece up here that you are going to need to pop out. It is very easy. You just push forward and there will be a screw hidden behind it. Once you're into the back panel, you'll be able to hopefully see the fan that you can plug into the motherboard. It is fairly easy. Just take a look, make sure you can find it. Now, if we're looking at the board here, we can see the copper heatsink, I'm guessing. Right here is where we're gonna plug that cable in. Well, now that that's plugged in, we should be able to button everything back up and turn it on, and hopefully everything works. You know, it helps if I put this back on there. Honestly, the installation was really easy. It was not that difficult. It's only going to take you probably like 5 to 10 minutes. If my video is not helpful enough, they do have a video that you can get from scanning this QR code that was really helpful. Now, enabling this should be really simple. Print options, enable VentoBox air filtration system. Bam, that's it. That is so easy. The fact that this is a native integration with the Bambu Lab printer just kind of blows my mind, because I never would have thought that Bambu Lab would have agreed to something like this. But the fact that there was a collaboration between Through the Frame and Bambu Lab is just awesome. I love seeing that. All right, now that that's installed, let's get a print going and see if this thing really works. I'm printing out a fun little Woodstock in Prusament ASA filament. This should give us a really good example of how well this should control the fumes and stuff coming out. Here's a baseline for what we're at. We're at 4 or 5 for the PM2, no VOCs. We're good. Let's get the print going. All right, we're partway through the print and we can see that we haven't changed much. We're at 0.34, 0.234. On the inside, it's doing quite a good job also. It's definitely scrubbing that air like it's supposed to. I'm rerunning the test without the VentoBox on, and I am seeing some numbers that I thought would have been a bit more, to be honest, but it is definitely more than if we just ran this without it. The total VOCs is the number that I'm really looking at. It's definitely higher than what it was on our baseline and what we saw when we were printing with the VentoBox on. So my idea of using this to get an idea of how well this thing's working is definitely not working. This is just not going to be good enough to really get a good idea of how this air filtration system works. Now, I do firmly believe that this is making a difference. How much of a difference? I don't know. But let me know down in the comments below of like something I could build or make that would do a much better job of this. Because it'd be nice to have something like that, but I don't want to do this again. The fan on this is super quiet. I can't hear it at all. And when I had the printer open and when I was just doing a test to see how well I could hear it, it's not loud at all. You can't even hear it on the outside, which is really nice. This is just a kind of fun test to see how well this thing works. I don't have the proper equipment to really test this. Now, if we wanted to take this even a step further, Voxel also sent over their X-Filter for the P2S and the X2D. This is cool because it's the same premise where you have the activated charcoal as well as that HEPA filter in the front. And it's going to even just be that much better by having this in there as well. Installing the X filter is super easy. We just pop this little panel off, pull out the old filter, take our new and improved one, slot it in. Bam, it's that easy. Now, Voxel does note that you do want to replace the filter and the charcoal every 250 hours or 2 months. Beautiful thing is that the HEPA filter is only $1.50 and the activated charcoal is $14.99 for a pack of it. So you're definitely getting your money's worth here. So this thing is priced at $39.99, and I think that's a pretty good deal given what it is. You got the 3D printed enclosure, you've got the fan, and the fact that it's native integration into the printer. It's just awesome. You know, I did do a video way back in the day about making my own bento box. If you didn't want to make one of those yourself, you could have bought one from Voxel as well, which I thought was pretty cool. Now, this doesn't just have to be for ASA, ABS, nylon, stuff like that. This does work for PLA and PETG. So if you go ahead and close it, it'll allow it to be a single pass where it'll still run through the activated charcoal and the HEPA filter before actually coming out the side of the printer here. I think that this is a really cool upgrade, and especially for the price, it's definitely reasonable. Having this extra level of protection is huge for me. I really do like having this kind of stuff when I'm printing ABS, ASA, nylon, just any of those nastier filaments that kind of off-put those VOCs and those just nasty fumes. So I do think that this is a really cool add-on for the P2S. Have you used this? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm definitely interested to hear what your thoughts are. And before you go, definitely check out this video right here of my P2S upgrades, or this video right here of the P2S exhaust video that I did. This is Adam from the Rad Dad Print Lab, and I'll see you next time.